Hey, welcome to Beyond Film School, where I teach you all about the film industry. I'm Amber, and in this video, we are taking a deep dive into film mentors, the who, what, why, and how. I feel like the word mentor really gets a bad rap. And there are a lot of people out there claiming to want to help the people coming up in any industry, not even just in the film industry. And they charge insane amounts. And just to get this out of the way, do not pay anybody to be your mentor. Just don't. With the exchange of money, it can get a little bit messy. There's always that question of, are there going to be upcharges? What do I get for the amount of money? And there's always that, are you just blowing sunshine up my because I'm paying you? But what is a mentor? The exact definition of a mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor. Emphasis on trusted. Because you don't want advice from someone you can't trust. And you definitely don't want advice from someone who doesn't have experience. Or the wrong type of experience that doesn't relate to what you're aspiring to be. For example, I'm an assistant director, and someone who's aspiring to be a gaffer, I'm not going to mentor someone who's aspiring to be in the electrical department. Why? Because that is not my area of expertise. I may be able to get them started in the film industry, but I'm not going to be able to take them all the way through the ladder of the electrical department up to gaffer. And if you don't know what a gaffer is, they're the ones that head the electrical and lighting department on film set, and they execute and design the lights. Which leads me right into my next point. Who should be your mentor? First of all, it should never be someone who doesn't want to be one. You can't force someone to be your film mentor.
Please, 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 please.
Some people just aren't into it, and that's fine. Just don't go barking up the wrong tree. Next, it should be a person that you trust. And this is a big one. You have to trust the person. And it's a person that has experience in the area or position that you want to pursue. You want to be a prop master? Talk to prop masters. You want to be assistant director? Talk to ADs. If you want to be a director of photography, talk to director of photography. You get what I'm saying. You get the point. When you're in college, it could be your professors, and as you change and grow and your career changes and grows, so are your mentors. The one thing you need to make sure of is that you get along with this person, you mesh well with this person, and that you feel that it fits. You may think this is a no-brainer, but there are people out there who have said they've been very unhappy with their mentors and that they've almost kind of like been bullied by their mentors, which I know there's a thing about tough love in some of this stuff, but do not take that shit.
You're damn right.
If that happens, cut ties right away and move right the f on. So what other things should you consider when looking into your film sensei? One huge one is time. Whether it's answering emails sooner rather than later, phone calls, texts, Zoom calls, whatever it is, you want to make sure they have time for you. Another thing to consider is patience. Are they patient enough to answer all your questions? Are you comfortable enough with them to ask him anything? You really gotta tap into your intuition and your gut feelings here, because if it doesn't feel right, you just move on to the next option. You could be wondering, how do I even go about getting or finding a mentor? If you're just starting out and you have no film experience, have never been on set, you can email or DM or tweet someone that you found on IMDb or someone famous that you admire and seek advice that way, finding out like what to do, what your next steps are. And then that's a really good position to be in until you actually get on set, get comfortable with people, and then find your more like, full-on mentor, someone who's like not your permanent mentor, but more longer-term mentor for you. Once you get on set and start meeting people, you are going to form bonds, relationships. You're going to find people that you admire, and then you can just ask those people questions. You can see if it's okay that you ask questions about their career, about your career, where you want to go, what the best advice they have for you is. You don't have to officially be like,
hey, will you be my mentor?
A lot of the times this happens naturally. You find yourself always going back to the same person for advice. And then it just turns into that like mentor-mentee relationship. Alright, so we're gonna get into the cons now. The cons of having a mentor. I don't think there's a lot. There's not that many. We've already discussed how you might not get along or vibe with the person you wanted to be your mentor. You know that whole like don't meet your heroes type thing, because you might be like emailing back and forth this like director that did this indie movie and you're like, oh my god, you're amazing. In the email you're going back and forth and it's great, but then in person you're like, oh my god, what an asshole. It happens. It definitely happens. Another con is that you might not like what the mentor has to say. They might overstep and say something that is uncomfortable for you, or maybe they're making a little bit of too much of a strong judgment about who you are as a person. Things can get really kind of personal. Sometimes as a mentor, they have to take into account your personality and your actions. And some mentees are not really ready for that brutally honest type feedback. One of the more frustrating cons about having a mentor is that you might ask something and they just don't know what to tell you. They don't know what type of advice to give you. They're not going to know everything. That's legit impossible. We're all human here. My last con about having a mentor is that you outgrow a mentor. Like, your career is going to take twists and turns, you're going to go in different directions, and you might go into an area that they don't have expertise in, or maybe you outgrow them. So sometimes like letting go of that mentor and trying to find a new one, it's hard for some folks. And it kind of sucks when you really connect with someone, then you might have like a career path change and you're not communicating as much with them anymore because the one thing that connected you is no longer there. Now let's get into the pros. Yes, positivity. The major pro about having a film mentor is that there's someone in your corner. They're rooting for you, they're like cheering for you, they believe in you, they're hoping and knowing that you're gonna excel. They give you that really good pep talk that you need sometimes. They can also give you that moment of clarity when you're in a time of frustration. They'll understand when you vent because they can totally relate. You get to ask questions and they give you real answers. It is priceless to have someone that can just keep it real with you. One pro of having a mentor that I love is the what would you do question. You find yourself in some tough scenarios working in film. You don't know what to do or say, so you go to your mentor, you lay it all out, and you get to ask them, what would you do? It's honestly the best. We touched on this a little bit, but how long do you keep a mentor? Some people keep mentors for a lifetime. Some keep them until they reach a particular goal. It all depends on you and what you need and what your career goals or whatever your goals might be. For example, in the beginning, there might be a lot of questions, emails, texts, phone calls, and then when they start to kind of gain ground and get their footing in the industry, there's less phone calls and less texts and less questions, and then they don't need a mentor anymore.
Please don't leave me, I'll be lonely.
Do I have a mentor? Yes, I have a bunch of people that I constantly go back to for advice. So yes, I do have mentors in the film industry. And I definitely have mentors for different things. I have, mentors that are DGA ADs, and I also have mentors who are like owners of their own business. I also have a film friend that I would consider a mentor. Now, career-wise, we're on the same level. Like, we're friends, we're peers, we're on the same level, so like one isn't higher than the other. We always seek each other's advice, and it's just a constant thing back and forth. It's like we're in this together and we're trying to figure out the game together. And through all that, we're rooting for each other to do well in the industry. We're like rooting for each other to just excel. So I would argue that it's not really necessary that a mentor of yours has to be older than you or higher than you in the traditional sense. Now, am I a mentor? Yes, and that's what I love about this, is that you can be both at the same time.
What? No way.
Some of my mentees come from my Set PA training course, and the folks that take my training, they get access to me. They can ask me all the questions they want. I recommend them for jobs. They see me on set. But during the weekend, they really get to know me, and I really get to know them. And they're gonna find out if I'm the right fit for them as a mentor. And also, to touch on the pay situation, now I know that I do charge for the Set PA training. You're gonna get training, and I'm gonna train you to be the best damn PA there is out there, but there's no way that I'm gonna charge anyone to be my mentee, as far as like them asking me questions, or maybe there's a tough situation they want to talk through, all the emails and texts, or maybe a phone call, or maybe they want to meet for coffee or something. There's no like pay per text or pay for like email or something like that. It is up to them if they want me to guide them through the film industry. And there's definitely there's no I'm not gonna force myself upon them seek advice from me. It is all about what they need and what they want. The one thing I want to stress about having a mentor is that It is in your hands. It is what you want. You have the power. You also control kind of like the pace of a mentorship. How often are you seeking advice? How often are you saying, hey, let's meet for this and that? Because it's not really up to the mentor to kind of like set a structure. It's definitely on you and what you need. A lot of times you are definitely going to be one setting the tone. You have the power. You honestly do. A mentor can give you that pep talk that you really need, but you need to initiate that conversation. They can't push you to reach out to them, and they can't force you to take career moves. They are there for you. They're going to guide you. They're going to be your cheerleader, but they can't do the things for you. Remember, this is your life, not theirs. Tell me in the comments what your thoughts are on film mentors. I would love to know. If you found this video helpful, you know what to do. And while you're at it, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all the videos I make on the film industry. If you are looking for film career resources, hit up my website at beyondfilmschool.com. And if you want to know what I'm up to on set, hit up my Instagram at beyondfilmschool. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm happy to take your questions. Please comment below. Thank you so much for watching. That is it for now, and I shall see you next time.